What's up, everyone?
Yo,
Well,
guys, I'm real.
he's real. He's here.
I'm real.
He's
I'm
here.
here, and I'm real.
Whoa. Well, welcome everyone to the Preston versus Elijah podcast, show where I, Preston, and that over there, Elijah, talk about
Hi.
whatever the hell we want. No guest this week. We just have Elijah. Hi, Elijah.
Hi, I'm not a guest.
You can. It sometimes feels like it with how much you've been gone.
I'm sorry, I'm just a busy guy.
I missed
I'm
you.
just busy.
I missed you.
So anyway, how have you been? How have you been?
Dude,
You've been doing?
things have been fine. Like, obviously, like, I'm not going to get into it on the podcast, but like all of the stuff going on in life has just been draining, but also creatively I've never been more fulfilled in my life.
That's good. That's good, at least.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm having a good time. Like, obviously, like, new branding all over the podcast. We're back to
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
editing and making a bunch of stuff for socials again, now that I have everything settled on a pipeline for night shift. Kind of sucks that everything fell apart. If you don't listen to the other podcast I'm involved in, Two Dads, One Tubs, it fell apart. I guarantee you the episode's not going to get released this week because of how bad things fell apart.
Oh no.
Like, legitimately, the audio cut out so many times. And it's both from Twitch and the issues Twitch has been having, but then also my computer. So I hopefully resetting and fixing thing doesn't affect this podcast. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
But I literally, my audio was fine the entire time. It was everyone else's audio. So I literally, on OBS right now, as I'm recording this podcast, I literally have yours highlighted and ready to fix on a moment's notice. I'm
hilarious.
So paranoid right now.
Yeah, I would be paranoid too with what just happened. Yeah, I did notice when I tuned into the podcast, I could hear you.
Yes, correct. And it's also because Discord is stupid and decided to leave streamer mode on its own volition. And then all of a sudden, having 4 people, a PNG tuber software, and Discord, and also chat up on my computer, it's just like, you know what? We're not going to handle running that today. We're not going to handle running that today. Even though I've ran more powerful things and my computer has been fine. It's just
your computer is just having a lazy day today, and it happens.
You know what? It's so valid. But this is the Preston vs. Elijah podcast. Before we get into things today, we got a couple of housekeeping things. Elijah, while you were gone, I got a sponsor.
Yeah.
Oh, I am so excited. Our first long-term sponsor, meaning this sponsor will stay with us forever, and we can have the sponsor while we have other sponsors.
Yeah.
But so we're sponsored for both the stream and the podcast by Dubby. Thanks to Dubby for supporting us. Dubby is an energy drink made in the US that has 0 sugar, maltodextrin filler, artificial colors or dyes, secret formulas, and hidden ingredients. Not only that, it's gluten-free. What does that mean? It means Elijah's not going to get a rash.
I'm not allergic to gluten.
Yes, but you are allergic to artificial dyes. It's cheaper than buying. It's cheaper than buying a coffee. It comes in unique flavors, and you won't feel a crash or jitter when you have any of Dubby's products. Supporters of Preston vs. Elijah can head to www.dubby.gg to buy some of their amazing products. Use code PVEDubby at checkout to get 10% off your order and support the channel and Dubby. Thank you, Dubby, for the sponsor. But not only that, Elijah. Yeah. What month is it?
It's Froggy May.
Froggy May, everyone!
Froggy May!
If you've been around the channel for a while, you know that we have a frog mascot named Drew. And he's our little coin counter there on the bottom of the corner. But also, we have this inside joke that we will finally explain today on the podcast. The Froggy Day story. Along with whatever bullcrap we want to talk about today.
This really doesn't have a topic. We're just kind of yapping.
We're just yapping today. We haven't really... This is the first time you and I actually got to sit down and talk for more than 25 minutes in a month. Have you realized that?
Yeah, it's been so long, dude.
So we get to actually sit down and yap today. But we have merch, specifically limited time merch, the Froggy May collection. Get yourself an Elijah Frog shirt, a Preston Frog shirt, a Kai Frog shirt, even though, fun fact, the next announcement is Kai is now spun off into her own channel. So go follow Kai Cozy Stream on Twitch. Kai will still hang out with us on stream, but any of that content you're gonna find over there. All of the fun things. But you can still get merch from Kai in the store. You can get merch of myself, Elijah, with the Froggy May collection. Support us. It goes towards our next big thing. My birthday, June 21st. Woo! We're doing a subathon. Be there. We'll have more information as we go. But outside of that,
there or we both cry.
So true.
On like that's the first thing we do.
That's the first thing on the subathon is we cry for everyone who isn't watching.
Yep.
Dang. That's rough.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, all of that to say is we have a lot going on. Elijah's about to finish his internship, which means we're also going to do what we call the summer of streaming, where we try and stream every day somehow. We're going to figure out how that works eventually.
Yeah. I mean, we'll figure it out. They might be short streams. They might be just we're playing a game and we turned on the stream.
Yeah, literally.
Even though we were going to play the game anyway.
We were going to play the game anyway.
Yeah, but the plan is to have a stream every day.
Every single day we have a stream. That's the plan. Very excited for that. But Elijah.
Yes.
Do we want to blue ball them and talk about the Froggy Day story later, or do we just want to let them go now and hear the story?
Let's let it simmer a little bit.
Let's let it simmer. Dude, how have you been? Let's
get retention up a little bit.
Edging. We're gonna edge them.
So some of the words that I'm gonna say in the next 20 minutes are part of the Froggy May story. You guys have to put it together.
The first person to piece all of the puzzle pieces together gets PvE socks.
Yep, they get socks.
You just have to DM us on Discord, and then you get the PvE socks. I'm dead serious. If you DM us on Discord and you find all of Elijah's clues for the PvE Froggy Day story.
Wait, I actually have to leave clues now.
Yeah, you do.
Dang it.
You do. I'm making you do this. Your improv training now has to come in.
Dang. You're definitely not one of Drew's angels.
Hey, we're all just frogs in Drew's flock. We're just one of Drew's angels. Dude, how was Florida?
Oh, it was fantastic, dude. It was fantastic. So for those of you who don't know, which is probably all of you, I went to Florida for a week to go do Disney World and Universal Studios for 6 days. Would I recommend going to theme parks for 6 days straight? No. Was it fun? Yes. Disney obviously was amazing, more for the like world building and like attention to detail stuff, but Universal's rides were insane, dude.
Well, I also hear that Universal, specifically Florida, is starting to get on par with what Disney's doing.
Oh, 100%. Like the Velocicoaster, the line for that is so immersive. Like you're just going through like actually what it would look like for you to go to Jurassic World.
So I know, maybe this wasn't here for you, but I know right now, and I know they have been for the past month, they've been previewing Burke from How to Train Your Dragon.
They've been previewing Burke and Nintendo World in Florida, because neither of those are open to the full public until this month.
Okay. Did you get to see...
I was a month too early.
So you didn't get to see either of them?
I didn't get to see either of them. The only way to get in there is to have an annual pass.
That's so stupid. What?
So all of the people who have who are an annual pass member can get into the like new park early. But if you don't have it, you can't get in.
Is park membership hurting that bad?
No, I just think it's a nice perk for membership, I guess.
I know. Like, I can't speak to Universal, but just because of the people who I've known in my life, I know a little bit more about behind the scenes for Disneyland and Disney World.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for a fact that Disneyland's park membership stuff is hurting a lot, but that's also because Disney and Bob Iger are greedy. Oh no, me being on 2 podcasts in a row where we talk about Disney being greedy? Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Crazy.
It was on his noodle.
But I know Universal is on the up and up, especially because of Epic Universe. Were any of the other
Epic Universe Cool. I want to go.
It's were any of the Epic universes open? Like, was the Horrorland open?
No, you couldn't. You had to have the annual pass to go into Epic Universe
That's
at all.
so disappointing. So what I'm hearing is that Preston and Elijah take over Universal Florida
Yes.
is a thing that's going to happen.
Yes. No, I will totally go again. I love Universal because fun fact about me, love rides that go upside down.
Dude, here's the thing. As long as it's not a dead drop ride, I'm all about roller coasters.
Yeah, I didn't do any of the dead drop rides.
The only reason why I don't do the fun fact for people who don't know me as well, because this podcast is also learning about us. My knee ain't so good because I fell from a high place, and so I don't got no good right knee. And falling scares me now. I'm not afraid of heights. I'm afraid of falling.
Yeah, I think most people would agree with you on that one.
Yeah, which is valid, except for the psychopaths like Kylie, who like living in the trees and climbing.
Or the psychopaths like me who like living in the trees and climbing.
That's so fair. But okay. Top 3 rides at Universal Florida.
Oh, it is the number 3. I don't remember its name, but it's the one where you go. It's a Harry Potter ride where you get on Hagrid's motorcycle and you go through, like, it's a roller coaster basically. But you're on Hagrid's motorcycle and you're like actually riding like on a motorcycle. Like you have handlebars that you hold on to. It's shaped like a motorcycle, but you're like strapped in. It's really cool. It goes. You go forward through it, and then at one point, it drops you down. You go backwards. It stops you, and then you go back forwards. It's really cool.
That's awesome.
Number 2 is the Velocicoaster. That thing, it's like it's an extreme roller coaster. It goes upside down like 5-6 times, but when it goes upside down, it slows down enough to where the centrifugal force doesn't keep your butt on your seat all the way, so it feels like you're gonna fall, even though you're not gonna fall.
Oh,
and that was awesome. And then number 1, to nobody's surprise, is the Incredible Hulk coaster. 56 seconds of perfection.
Dude,
you go upside down like 7 times.
I was gonna say, how many times you go upside down? Dude, I love freaking roller coasters. I mean, if I really could, and if I really wanted to, one of the things that I would do is okay, Elijah, dream with me right now. Dream with me.
I'm dreaming.
Close your eyes.
I'm dreaming.
Because
eyes closed.
Because you might be asking yourself, Preston, what have you been doing to entertain yourself while Elijah, your only source of entertainment, hasn't been here? And first, I'd say, you narcissist, I was doing fine without you. Second off, I've been on RV TikTok.
What?
RV salesman TikTok, where they try and advertise different luxury RVs to you. And I had this insane idea. I had this insane idea for a stream. If one day we make it big enough to where we can stream full time.
Yeah.
We rent a luxury RV or buy a luxury RV.
Yep.
And we do hybrid, our regular stream and non-PNG tuber streams. Elijah and Preston hit America. And we do a road trip in a luxury RV to every state. We pick one spot in every state. And if you're in that state, we'll have a meet and greet, but you had to come to that one spot. And we road trip. And then when we park our RV, we will keep the stream going with a gameplay stream. And like,
that's awesome.
We just get really good 5G wireless chip router.
Yeah, like what's the Elon Musk Wi-Fi?
No, not Starlink. That's satellite, and it actually sucks for streaming.
Really?
I looked into it. It's not good for streaming. You want a 5G SIM card router. You can put a 5G SIM card in there, and the router becomes just as good as like any basic internet package you have.
Okay.
Which means your streaming up and down is fairly good, and it's based off of 5G towers. So we just have to risk getting cancer because the 5G is turning the frogs gay, Froggy Day.
By the way, our frogs on our shirts only gay if you want them to be.
Only gay if you want them to be, and only if they've been drinking the water you think they've been drinking. Um, so keep that in mind. Are these...
My frog exclusively drinks Dr. Pepper.
Do you think my frog doesn't also exclusively drink Dr. Pepper? You're in. I have 2 liters of Dr. Pepper on my floor right now.
I'm surrounded by Minute Maid lemonade, Dr. Pepper, and Twisted Tea right now.
Dude, but Twisted Tea's so good.
It's so good, dude.
I can't have it in the house, but it's so good. Oh, anywho.
So good.
Anywho, Preston versus Elijah hit America. What if instead of that idea of going to every city, we hit every, like, a major city in each state, but we also hit the big 5 theme parks?
Ooh, the big 5.
Or, like, maybe, like, we do, like, the top 10 theme parks. Because I know Six Flags, by the time we would ever have a chance to do that, is closing down. Six Flags, Texas.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P. Six Flags, Texas. If TikTok is to be believed, and I don't do any deeper research, it's closing down the next year.
So it could stay open for the next 5 years, because TikTok is notoriously unreliable.
I only get my news from TikTok, and I think I'm the smartest person alive.
Now who's the narcissist?
I'm not the problem, you are. Anywho, but we do, if we ever get big enough to where we can go full-time streaming, and you and I can just do whatever the hell we want, or within reason.
Yeah, within reason.
We rent an RV for like a solid 5 months and do a road trip across America, but then we also do IRL streams / vlogs of us at the major parks.
Yes, major parks.
3 of them 3 of them might be in California, so we might take a long California trip, but that's it.
Yeah, if we're big streamers, we're gonna want to spend time in LA anyway.
Oh yeah, we just gotta.
Because that's a big hub. It's LA, Texas are the 2 big streamer hubs.
Yeah, which by the way, the other ones are like if we're doing top 10, a lot of them are in Texas too. So
yeah, Texas is a big state.
Yeah,
with a lot of people who like adrenaline.
So true. But one day, the dream is Preston and Elijah hit America, and we get ourselves the luxury RV. I have to send it to you on TikTok. It has a media center, right?
Oh yeah.
But behind the media center is a secret door that leads to the back of the RV that has an office. That would be the stream control room, because it directly has plugins for the TV behind it. So we can have a dedicated stream control room if we want to play console games, and then have the gaming PCs in there for when we want to do PC games.
That's awesome.
And then it has a loft with a king size bed, and then it has an actual master bedroom with a king size bed. So you and I can just spread out our loins as light as we need, or we can spoon in one of the 2 beds. Your call.
Dibs on the loft.
I will take the master bedroom. I will take it all day.
Yeah, I'm a loft guy.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it just feels more like being in the trees, and
that's fair.
I do enjoy the trees. I do enjoy the trees.
You know what? That's fair. That's so fair. I think that would be a fun idea for the future.
That would be really fun.
But also,
I have another idea with that. Get a list of the top 10 most extreme roller coasters. Do them all.
All right, say that all again. Only for the purpose of you went robotic.
I went robotic?
Yeah.
Okay. Get a list of the top 10 roller coasters, like top 10 most extreme roller coasters, and ride them all.
Or hear me out. Long form content. Hear me out. We do that. But then we also, at each park, do a tier list of all of the rides. And then only the S tiers. We then tier list the S tiers only.
Oh. That would be really fun.
That would be so, because you and I think we're both ride junkies. Like,
100%.
I will go on a road. Dude, okay. So right before you and I met, right? I think it was maybe a year before you and I met. Yeah, it was. It was about a year before you and I met, maybe 2 years. My sister, she just got divorced, and they had already had plans to go to Silverwood. If you don't know what Silverwood is, and you're listening, Silverwood
Theme
is
park.
like the biggest theme park in the Northwest. So like,
Yeah, like
it's not in the top 10 most famous theme parks in the country, but in the Northwest, it's number one. The Northwest isn't known for its like theme park ride culture. You have to go to other places to get really good rides for the most part.
yeah, all Washington really has is like Great Wolf Lodge, which is like water slides, and then Silverwood's not. It's Silverwood in Washington. I
It's
think it's
not.
Idaho, right?
That's why I specified Pacific Northwest, because it's on the border of Washington and Idaho on the Idaho side.
Yeah, I actually have never been to Silverwood.
Dude, I think you would enjoy Silverwood. Silverwood doesn't have the theming because that park is like original Disneyland old, but without the renovations or money to reinvent itself like Disneyland did.
Because it's not Disney.
Yeah, because it's not Disney by any scope of the imagination, but it is
No.
still a good park. The rides are fun, it's just the theming's not there. And theming is what takes a park to the next level, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. But like, if you're just there for the rides, then theming doesn't really matter.
But uh Silverwood, it's like the biggest like theme park in the Pacific Northwest. My sister was like, I want to take my kids there. She has 4 kids. I love my niece and my nephews dearly. My nephew was just entering middle school at the time, which it's weird,
Prime theme park age.
but he had never been on a roller coaster before.
Ooh.
I have to find the picture, but I was like, I'm gonna take my nephew on his first roller coaster. I am so excited. I love roller coasters. My sister loves roller coasters, but she couldn't go on at the same time I could because the two youngest were 5 and 8 at the time. And Brielle, my niece, we know for a fact already she tried it, does not like roller coasters. She had
Yeah.
gotten a roller coaster before my brother because her grandma on her dad's side took her to Wild Waves, which is like our Washington Six Flags, but crappier.
Yeah, it's really bad.
It used to actually be a Six Flags, and then it got rebranded. That's a whole different story. Uh, all of that to say, I'm excited to take my nephew onto this roller coaster for the first time. Easton,
Uh-huh.
my second youngest nephew, 8 years old, wanting to be big guy on the block, says, I bet I can do it too. And in my head, my sister and I were like debating whether or not he should do it and join us on the biggest roller coaster in the park.
Yeah.
I said, he hits the height requirement and the weight requirement. I was 8 years old when I was on my first roller coaster and I loved it. He, in terms of temperament, is a lot like me. I guarantee you he's going to enjoy it.
Those are some strong words.
Oh, how wrong I was. First mistake I made was Cohen, my oldest nephew's first roller coaster, was going to be the biggest and longest coaster with the most loops and most drops.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! 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 No!
And
No!
he's 12. I'm like, he can handle it. He's 12. Wrong. Absolutely wrong. So strike one there. 2. Easton does have my temperament, except for with roller coasters. So it's also one of those roller coasters where it takes pictures of you as you go on the ride. And it's one of those roller coasters where it's a 3 wide and not a 2 wide. So the picture is me with my arms up in the air going, woo! And them fully red in the face, scream crying like they're gonna die.
That's amazing, dude.
And I have it in an actual picture, and I promised myself that when they both get married one day, I am going to make photocopies of it and give it to their future partners.
That's amazing.
Because I go, I need you to remember this moment to humble yourself every time.
Bro, that actually reminds me of a story of my first time at Disney World. Because this last time was my second time ever going to Disney World. My first time was back when I was like 9 or 10 years old, right? So my little sister, who was 3 years younger than me, she's like 5. and we're going on Tower of Terror.
Oh God.
So it's me, my dad, and my younger sister. I don't know what my mom and my older sister were doing, but they weren't there. My mom just doesn't do rides. She gets really motion sick, so
That's
she
fine.
doesn't do rides.
That's fair.
My older sister loves rides. Don't know why she wasn't there. But anyway, we get on. My dad sits in between us. I'm super excited. At this point, I've done multiple rides. I really enjoy it. My little sister, this is her first ride.
She chose Tower of Terror as her first ride. Oh God.
This is her first ride. So, it starts going. We get to the part where, it does the up and down thing. And she freaks out and grabs my dad's arm. And the more we're going, the tighter she's squeezing. Until, at the end, my dad has to, pry her off of his arm. And he has 10 fingernail marks on his arm the rest of the day because of how hard she was squeezing. She didn't draw blood, but she got as close as possible to drawing blood on his arm.
There had to have been internal bleeding or bruising from that.
Yeah, no, he got his arm bruised real bad.
Holy crap.
Yes, but she was just holding on for dear life the entire time. And meanwhile, I'm sitting next to him. I have my hands up. I'm going, and then my little sister is just, I'm gonna die.
See, roller coasters are exactly my speed for dangerous death traps.
Yeah.
So Elijah and I, we met each other at a summer camp, right? The summer camp also happens to host the school he grew up going to.
Oh yeah.
But we met at a summer camp, working at a summer camp together. And it's a high rope summer camp, so there's a lot of high elements, high ropes. Not necessarily courses, but we have one course. Technically, VPP is a course.
Yeah, technically one course, but they're all just separate elements, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment. To the point where Kylie, she's now in charge of inspecting and doing all that stuff right now. She works there she works there part-time, but also kind of full-time. It's weird.
Yeah, it's the same thing with my internship where I'm categorized as part-time, but there's nothing part-time about my job.
Yeah. I don't like that kind of stuff, mainly because with my knee and the injury, I can't climb crap anymore. I just can't.
Yeah.
You strap me into a chair and fling me at 60 miles per hour in a loop-de-loop, I'm there.
100%.
Yeah.
I like the climby stuff, but I also haven't fallen from the climby stuff.
That's so fair. Okay. There's a roller coaster in Texas, though, I really want to try. And I want to see if it makes you or I pass out.
Ooh.
It's the fastest bullet roller coaster in the world. And my favorite thing to do when watching roller coaster videos is specifically watch videos of this roller coaster and watch people and their face cam or a GoPro of them passing out in the middle of the ride. Because it goes so fast, it hits just fast enough to, depending on your body type and your build, you can pass out. It is the same speed that they test some air fighter pilots in to see if their body is the right type of body type to fly an air fighter jet.
That's awesome.
And my favorite thing, there used to be a Cartoon Network show where there was a quiz show on a roller coaster. And one of the episodes they did on that roller coaster, and it was the funniest episode because half of the contestants passed out trying to answer questions. It was so funny.
Imagine trying to ask your guests questions and they just keep passing out and you just can't get a question in because they're just not conscious.
Dude, Elijah, hear me out. Preston and Elijah hit America. It happens, right?
Yeah.
You and I, come up with a competition show for just you versus me, the Preston versus Elijah competition quiz show, where
Yeah.
we get Kylie to write us quiz questions because she loves her trivia, right?
Yeah.
And she gives half of the questions for me and half of the questions for you, and she curates ones about ones that we might know, but she's pretty sure we don't know. But only when we go on rides, we ask each other the questions.
That's awesome. No, it'd be even better because our adrenaline's pumping. We're not going to be able to think very, very well.
Exactly.
I think it'd be really funny to make the questions we know for a fact we know the answer to, but we'd have to think about for a second,
Dude,
just to see how bad we get when our adrenaline's pumping.
Dude, just multiplication timetables. What's 9 times 9? Ah, shit. Shit.
81. Wait, it is 81.
No.
Wait, I was trying to say a wrong answer, but I said the correct answer.
It's because your adrenaline's not pumping. You just went automatically to the right answer. It's muscle memory.
No, I'm really bad with my times table.
Dude, spell butthole. Q. Ah, shit.
Preston. Butthole.
Incorrect. Minus 10,000 points. Dude, do we just become roller coaster streamers and we only stream while on a roller coaster and we have the world's shortest streams?
Bro, imagine the YouTube video though. Like the intro, you're in the line. All right, guys, today I'm going to be playing Among Us, but on a roller coaster.
Hey everyone, I'm going to quiz Elijah, and if he gets 10 questions right, he's going to get 10,000 pennies.
10,000 pennies? That's like
$1,000.
at least $5.
That's $1,000. Still not nothing, but also...
Is it? 10,000 pennies?
10,000... Oh, never mind. Is it 100?
That's $100.
Yeah. I can't math right now either. Listen, my brain is so scrambled after recording that Two Dads, One Tub. And having to try and host.
Fair.
I enjoyed helping host that podcast, but also they have a hard time limit of 2 hours.
Uh-huh.
And so do we. But it's a lot of people. It's 3 to 4 people on the podcast who all are very outspoken.
Yeah.
And want to talk, and I'm kind of the 4th or sometimes 5th person, but I'm mainly just running background stuff and then chirping in with a funny thing here and there.
Yeah, you were like full on in there this time though, right?
Yeah. So the kind of idea is that the other people, Notable and Chump, come in to fill in for gas, and then if they can't, or if their time is available isn't, then I'm the next person in the buffer, unless we find other people to do it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Except for, I think we can spoil this with our audience, because I don't think a lot of Two Dads, One Tub listeners listen to us yet. A lot of the people who listen to us based off of the metrics are people we know.
Yeah.
That's just the facts of life, or like Crow. Hi, Crow. Hi, Panic.
Hello.
I pitched an April Fool's idea for Two Dads, One Tub next year.
Yeah.
We do a podcast switcheroo.
Ooh.
Where we don't announce that you and I are hosting Two Dads, One Tub and we're interviewing someone about streaming stuff. And then Gas and Panic come on and talk about whatever the hell they want for 2 hours.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
But
we'd have to be sipping whiskey the entire time.
No,
though,
we'd have to be sipping whiskey. Well, here's the thing. Hopefully they're in the process of their whiskey sponsorship. Hopefully they get that, and then we can tipsily be drinking that whiskey and being like, "Where's Buns and Bat?"
We can do the ad read at the very end.
Yeah, dude, it's like me during your birthday stream trying to drunkenly read the ad read.
We're just like, this podcast is it's sponsored by the drink that I'm holding in my hand. It's good.
I can't read it, but it starts with a C.
It's it gets the job done, man.
Let this be the endorsement of how good it is. But I think next year we're gonna do a podcast switcheroo, and you and I are gonna host it. The only thing is that if I were to do it, I would want to give someone else my role of running the podcast and doing all of the button pressing stuff. And
Yeah.
I think it would be really funny. And she's technically in the room with me, and she could say something, but I know she's not going to because she doesn't want to interrupt. I think it'd be very funny if it would be Kylie.
That would be very funny.
And then Kylie can come in and chirp and interrupt us with funny jokes and memes.
Yeah. Kylie's comedic timing is fantastic, so I'm sure that would very much so enhance.
I'm glad she didn't hear you say that, because that would inflate her ego.
Oh, that was the goal.
She wasn't paying attention. She has her AirPods in. She's good.
What?
Don't worry about it. What? Don't worry about it, Kylie. We're just talking about you.
I'm gonna just send her a quick text of what I said.
Yeah, I was just gonna text you what he said.
Okay.
He was complimenting you. I said, "Don't say that. She could hear you. It'll inflate your ego." Yeah,
Can't hear him, but okay.
I know. That's why I said it was good. Okay, it's fine. Good content, podcast content for her not being able to speak into the mic. Oh, I'm also using her mic today.
Ooh, it does sound good. Your voice does sound really good.
Yeah, I think it's time to retire the Blue Yeti. I think.
Yeah, I retired mine, but I kind of just had a lateral move. Not gonna lie.
Dude, honestly, hear me out. You get paid. We get the same, because we get this same exact mic, but in different colors, right? When you get paid.
Yeah. Is there purple?
Maybe? I don't know. I'm getting the black and silver.
Ooh, does it have RGB on it?
Yes, it does.
Ooh, gamer mics.
It's technically a gamer.
Matching gamer mics.
But Panic used to have this mic, and he said he loved it until he upgraded to like a really fancy Elgato.
Ooh.
But like, this is $40, and a fancy Elgato is like $120 to $300. So
yeah, so that one's probably more our speed.
Yeah.
At this point in time.
But it sounds so good for the price point. I'm actually
100%.
It has an arm, and I'm really appreciating the arm. If you know how I had my desk set up before, where I had the cart with the third monitor.
Yeah.
The arm is currently, because I can't attach it to my desk because there's no place for it to grab, is attached to the cart.
That's hilarious.
And so, like, just barely out of sight of my side monitor for Discord is my mic arm, and then the mic is directly in front of my face.
That's awesome.
But I think we should upgrade mics. I think you and I having the same audio quality, especially when we go do #shameless plug the subathon in June, we can then do an audio setting up where each of us have our own mics.
Yeah.
And it would be super nice.
And they're USB-C, right?
Yeah, they're just USB-C. I can bring my USB-C hub for us to plug in everything. There's a USB plug for specifically mics that this one is plugged into right now.
Yeah, I mean, I have a USB-C mic already, so I would literally just unplug this one, plug that one in.
Yeah. And so it's...
Hopefully the arm can grab my desk.
Well, I think if I remember your desk correctly, it can. It's just that I have drawers in my desk.
Okay.
So it's too...
Yeah, mine's just not... It's not a desk. Mine's just a table.
Yeah, yours, it'll work fine for you. It'll be great.
Yeah. Shout out to IKEA for the table.
See, mine is also an IKEA desk. It's one of the fancier wood ones.
Ooh.
So I got this from actually working at New Life.
Oh, really?
That's
crazy.
They were getting rid of furniture while I was working there, and I was like, I need a new desk. And this one also has a spot for you to plug in stuff in the desk.
Oh,
like
that's
outlets inside
convenient.
of it. But then it's also not on top of the desk. It's hidden by a little flap. So you could open and close the flap, and it has a spot to feed in cords.
Ooh, fun.
And that's why I use it. However, now I might upgrade to a different desk in like 6 months, because with the amount of monitors I want.
How many monitors are you going for?
My dream is 4. I have 3.
Are you going to stack them?
I am going to stack 2 of them. However, I want to also at some point Two of these monitors are decent monitors. One of them is so god old.
Oh yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Yeah, one of them is god awful old. I want to get rid of that one. I'll keep the other two for now. Eventually I want to upgrade so all three of them are at least the same brand or in parity with each other, even if they are different sizes.
Yeah.
Get rid of the old HP one, and then that second monitor station, the middle monitor, is a stacked one.
Yeah.
And so I can have
Yeah.
I can have my big modern HP LCD HDR screen that I currently have. That'll be my graphics editing and my video editing one. The one that I use for Discord is I want to say it's a Samsung currently that's like 5 years old. It's not the oldest, but it was before they started putting in monitors that size LCD screens.
Oh yeah.
So it's a little washed out. I would never use it for anything more than Discord.
Mm-hmm.
And then the HP one, I would probably just I would either get HPs again, or I would get really good LG monitors that stack. And that's for OBS in games.
Awesome.
That would be the dream.
Yeah, I honestly don't know what I want to do with my setup. Right now I have one MSI monitor. It's fine. And then I have a curved Samsung monitor that is amazing.
See, that's the one I would replace the Discord one with.
Yeah,
I would get a curved.
It was also like $700.
Yeah. That's the only problem with monitors is that they end up getting so expensive. I'm lucky that the one my big editing one I got as a gift.
Oh, that is really nice.
And guess who gifted it to me?
Who?
Stu Jennings.
Stuart.
Stu Jennings.
My boy Stuart.
He upgraded to the same model but 1 year newer and then gave me that one.
Oh, nice. Well, fun fact, I stole his house.
That's true. You did steal his house. Literally, you took the deed from his hands.
Yes.
And you stole it. Not the fact that he was renting that place, trashed it, and they had to get a maid to clean it.
Yeah, and the maid didn't do a very good job.
Yeah, no.
The maid left black mold in both the showers, actually.
Actually, no, she was not supposed to touch that. I know that for a fact.
Oh, she wasn't supposed to touch bathrooms? She still didn't clean up very well.
Yeah. Well, I was still interning for Ryan at that point.
Yeah.
And that was not a fun time.
Nah, it stunk in there when we first got in there.
Yeah. That tracks.
All right. Let's finally get to what we said we'd get to at the beginning, 47 minutes in.
You know what? That's so fair. 11.
And what we said we would get to was wait, I forgot. No, wait, no, I was playing Marvel Rivals last night, actually.
Oh, dude, how is
it?
And
oh, it's great. I love that game. Anyway, so back to Froggy May time.
Yeah, so everyone, we have on half of our alerts, we have a mascot named Drew, and it sounds like a cult.
It might be.
It might be. Do you want to tell it from your perspective, or should I tell it from my perspective?
I can tell it from my perspective.
Okay, go for it.
To start.
Okay.
And then you can flesh it out with your details.
I'll chime in when I need to.
Were you in my activity training group?
Yes. No. You and I, me and Josh are the progenitors of this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like we said, we met while working at a camp, and at that camp we have high ropes elements. So obviously, you have to train everybody on how to run them safely, otherwise people die. So during that training, my first year, his second year there, we are being trained by this guy. His name's Drew.
You're missing a step. Ooh, you're missing a step.
I'm missing a step?
Rewind. Let me start.
Rewind?
Let me start.
It's rewind time?
So, we're getting trained. There are they start us off with a training of 3 different activities.
Oh, yeah.
One is called the Leap of Faith, which is exactly what it sounds like. You're strapped onto a belay system, a rope system. You climb up a tree, and then a trapeze on a pulley is pulled close to you, and you have to jump and try and grab it. And you have to
Yeah,
fully
and then
you have to fully trust someone to catch you while you jump.
yeah, a staff member,
Yeah.
not a guest, a staff member.
staff
And
member.
then I believe we were training on vertical playpen that
Yes.
day
You-
as well.
yeah.
So for that one, we have 3 different rope systems or belays, and you get clipped in with 2 other people. You can clip to each other or not, and your goal is to climb up this obstacle course with a bunch of different obstacles. There's like moving like pieces of wood with like staples on them that you climb up. There's just like diagonal pieces of wood. There's tires. There's ropes.
Going like 35 feet up in the air.
Yeah, and then you top is 35 feet up in the air. My personal record for that is for getting up it is about 45 seconds.
Wild.
But I also used to have to climb it almost every day because it used to get dropped almost every day by me. But the third one where this story takes place, where our heroes are, is called the giant swing.
Now,
so the entire thing.
You describe what it is, and then I will tell you where you're wrong.
Where I'm wrong?
Yeah, where you're wrong. Not in describing the elements, but where the story is.
Yeah. I mean, like, so, giant swing is, we have a metal cable attached to a couple of trees, and what happens is you get a harness on, you get a helmet on, you get attached to the cable, and then you get pulled up by a rope, up to wherever you want to go / the top which is just a certain distance up that is decided by whoever's facilitating, and then you pull a cord and you swing for a while, and you keep swinging, and eventually you get let down.
So
where am I wrong?
So the story doesn't take place starting at Giant Swing with Drew. It starts at Vertical Playpen with John.
Oh yeah, I wasn't there for the vertical playpen part.
Yes,
that's why I don't remember.
You joined in because you joined in late for different. I don't remember why you weren't there for that part.
I don't either.
But the first part of this, it's me, Josh, and a bunch of the people who are in our training group. I have to get checked off for retraining, but I don't have to do the whole training. So I'm also helping John, like, facilitate training people and showing him what we need to do. Whenever we do these activities and they have someone who has to get recertified versus people who are there for the first time, they usually have the people who are just getting recertified help show them what to do, and them showing other people how to do it in real time is them getting checked off, right?
Yeah.
John.
In some cases, they even like depending on like if you're activity staff and you are trained, they let you check people off on certain parts of the activities.
Oh yeah. John, who used to be the activities manager at this camp and director, he used to direct a lot of things. Actually, he was one of the higher ups before he left. He's intimidating at first, but once you get to know him, he's actually a very silly man.
He's just tall.
He's just very tall, and he's very big. Not like fat big, but just big. But not even muscly big. He's just a proportionally big dude.
He's just a big guy. He's just a big guy.
Proportionally a big dude. And we're sitting there, and he goes, "There's these things you do before you have participants go on an activity called a rock talk. Some people call it something different, but essentially how the activity works and all of the safety instructions. So you walk them through every point of the activity, what they're going to do, how they're going to get down, all the safety equipment, right?" And he says rock talks can get boring. Sometimes you just have to get fun with it. Maybe get a little froggy with it. And then proceeded to do a little frog jump. And if you know me, I love a good bit. And I go, "Pause, John," because John and I are good friends at this point. And I said, "Pause, John. Can you do that again?" And he does a little frog hop again and goes, "Get a little froggy with it."
Yeah, he like the frog hop. I remember this because people showed it to me. The frog hop, he pulls his arms like in, and he like does a little weird swimming motion, but with T-Rex arms.
And then proceeds to bend his legs like a frog and then do a little hop forward.
And it is amazing.
And we all could not stop doing that. To the point where Kylie and Elijah were off doing other things. I know Kylie, I think I remember where you were. You had to take Kylie somewhere.
Oh no. Oh yeah.
Urgent care.
Urgent
care.
urgent care had to happen
Because she got
for
bit by
somebody.
a tick. She got bit
yeah.
She got bit by a tick.
That was tick summer. I forgot about tick
That was
summer.
the summer we had so many ticks and only Kylie got bit. Sad. She almost got Lyme disease. Not almost, but she could have. So you had to take Kylie to urgent care. And so you come back, Kylie comes back, and we're all hopping like John.
And I have no idea what's going on.
And we're saying, hey, you're getting froggy with it? Yeah. And we're
but if you know me, I also love bits, so I just go along with it.
Yes. It's like the second bit of the summer. The other bit did not catch on all summer. This bit did.
Yeah, what was the first bit?
Boxes.
Oh, box. I mean, I still used that one for Tori.
I still use boxes. Tori and I still use boxes to each other. It's just no longer a Olive camp staff joke.
Yeah, it's just a certain people.
It's just certain people know it. People last year still use Froggy Day for better and for worse.
Yeah.
But we are doing 2 activities trainings that day. We're doing vertical playpen, and then we're going to our boss, Drew. Drew is also big and intimidating, and he's intimidating sometimes, but once you get to know him, he's like the most chill guy ever. Fun fact, if you're ever in our stream and you see Winner FPS, that's his dad. His dad used to be our boss. Cameron's like our little brother. We love Cameron. But now, go for it. You tell your perspective. That's everything you missed on. That's everything you missed on Glee.
Who was the participant for this?
No,
I forget.
There was no participant yet. Drew was doing a rock talk.
Oh yeah, we're getting to rock talk. But I want to. Who was the participant for when that part comes?
Sydney.
Just. It was Sydney.
I
thought Sydney was in the background.
No, Josh. It's Josh.
It was Josh. Yes. I thought it was Josh. I didn't want to be wrong because he is in chat and he will correct you and he will enjoy doing it.
Yeah. No, it was Josh because Josh. You can hear if I find the video, I'm going to use it for the TikTok edit of this clip.
Yeah.
Josh is saying some bullcrap. When I say bullcrap, I mean the funniest thing in the world during this part. Anywho, continue.
Okay, so Drew is giving the rock talk, and he's going through, and then he's like, so imagine, like, for some reason, he goes, imagine you had the Church of Drew here, and we all, he knows he makes a mistake immediately. And we all go, we're members of the Church of Drew? What?
No. Here's what happens. Exactly. Drew knows me well enough that the second he says that, he knows I'm going to try that as a bit and begins to start pointing at me and saying, no. And then you and Josh go, we're a part of the Church of Drew? And the look of defeat on his face.
He knew he messed up. And so we're not going to let that go. And it's in our brains. So we start sending people. And we send Josh. And Josh, while he's swinging around, he sticks his arms out and he goes, I'm one of Drew's angels. And then who said we're all frogs in Drew's flock? Was that you?
That was Sydney.
That was Sydney?
It was I said we're all lambs in Drew's flock, and Sydney goes, no, Preston. We're all frogs in Drew's flock. And then we go, wait, Drew, frog, Froggy Day brother, Froggy Day sister, and for
Froggy Day brother, and we're like the motion for it is like we're doing like like the SpongeBob imagination meme with our hands, and we're like Froggy Day brother,
Froggy Day sister. And we started coming up things like Drew is Frog Jesus.
And we made up our own holy book.
It's the Frible, the Frog
the Frible, the Frobble.
we break for lunch and we all go into the dining hall, and there's like 2 other training groups, and they're all tired, they're all exhausted. You can tell that some of them don't like the people in their training group, but all like 7 people in our training group are like, Froggy Day, Froggy Day.
And we come in with just full energy because that was just the most funny thing that happened.
But Drew had the most defeated face in the world. Because he's like, what have I done? And I go, Froggy Day, brother. Froggy Day. So, needless to say, this has been an inside joke for 2 years. We still reference this inside joke with each other. We did have to pause it in the middle of summer because there was someone in summer staff who, when they caught a bit, would not stop saying the bit. And not to blame him, he's on the autism spectrum. And, like, he's just trying to fit in. But it kind of killed the joke for, like, 2 months in the summer.
Yeah.
But once we recovered, we recovered. And we were like, after a year of us kicking around doing some form of online content, Elijah and I together, this year. So the 1 year we were roommates with each other, we were already kicking around. We just didn't do it because the internship that he's doing was also the internship I did. And it was just so busy, we could not just do it. Right?
And it somehow got busier this year.
Yeah, wild. And so as we're starting this Twitch stream and we reach affiliate, all of a sudden we're at this point and Elijah, similar to this current rebrand, was on vacation. And I said, we're affiliate now. We need alerts. Oh, we need a better stream layout. Oh, we need this. And so I'm making alerts. And then all of a sudden I have the genius idea. It's all going to be Church of Drew themed.
And it's amazing.
So if you ever go into our chat, you get, I think on just a follow or 2, you get Green Frog Drew as an emote. If you follow us or subscribe to us, you get the Elijah Frog, the Kylie Frog, and the Preston Frog. And then there's Jenna, Elijah's girlfriend, with the frog mask on as one of them. We love frogs. Frogs, number one, are in general are cool, but also the meme of Froggy Day started when Drew accidentally started a cult. Now, Kylie's now finally listening in because she realized what we're talking about, and she's giggling to herself. And I'm glad she's in the room as I'm talking about this. Do you want to say something?
Yes, point of clarification.
Hold, come up to the mic because the mic can't hear you. Everyone, special feature guest Kylie. You might have known her from the last episode of this podcast.
You might know her from her very famous Twitch stream.
Hi, Cozy stream.
Very true. I am known to do a cozy stream every now and then. Anyways, point of clarification. For the initial joke of getting froggy with it and jumping around, I was there. I wasn't there for the giant swing of it all. So I left halfway through.
Then who took you to the hospital?
I didn't go to the hospital. I misremembered because I didn't realize what you were asking at the first time you asked me. I just went to the chiropractor. That wasn't the tick issue.
Oh, but you still have ticks, right?
I do have ticks, and I also got bit by a tick. Unrelated, though.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Point of clarification.
Thank you for the clarification.
So we don't know why Elijah wasn't there.
No, I have no
I just float around, man.
Yeah. I know I'm not supposed to look at chat when we do our stuff, but Cameron in chat. Cameron in chat, anytime Kylie ticks, because he also works at the camp. Whenever Kylie ticks, yeah, you can tell the story.
Okay, so I have had tics since high school. It's a thing, but I don't have like any diagnosis. They just kind of happen. Not really sure why. Haven't looked into it. Don't really care at this point in time. So because I've had them for so long and I don't know necessarily why they happen, I don't necessarily advertise it to people because like sometimes they just don't happen.
It's more like if you know type thing.
Exactly. Need to know basis, right? So I was on a meal clean with Cameron and
me.
Yeah, with Elijah too. And all 3 of us were standing together, or like mid-meal clean, one of the two. And Cameron doesn't know that I have tics at this point. Elijah does. And obviously I know. And so I tick, and it's one of my bigger ones. So it's one of the more noticeable ones. And me and Elijah don't react to it. And so Cameron
In his infinite wisdom.
Cameron in his infinite wisdom asked if I was normal for too long. And me and Elijah just lose it. Absolutely
It was
lose
so
it. And
funny.
then I tell him that I have tics, and then he felt really bad, and now it's a joke. Now every time I tick, someone around me, either Preston, Elijah, or Cameron also, asks if I've been normal for too long, and I think it is hilarious.
So
Yeah,
anywho,
it's very
all.
funny.
anywho, thank you.
You're welcome. That was a bonus story.
Bonus story.
What a story!
Yeah, so that's the Froggy Day story. So all of that to say is, when I was making the stream stuff, I was like, let's make all of it frog related, and let's make it all Froggy Day related, and then not give anyone context for like 5 months. And it hasn't been 5 months, but it's been long enough to where we have a merch drop. We have to actually explain what the merch drop is. And so it's Froggy May. So if you want to support the channel, buy the Froggy May merch. It goes towards the subathon. Where I think during our 24-hour stream, we're also going to give away one of the shirts. You get to pick one of the 3 shirts. We're going to give away one of those shirts. It's going to be a cool time.
Yeah. I'm not biased at all, but pick my shirt.
No, pick my shirt, you idiot. You listening to the podcast, you're not the idiot. Elijah's the idiot. You listening to the shirt, to the podcast, buy my shirt. Or screw us both, buy Kylie's shirt. It's pink.
Yeah. Buy Kylie's shirt. Don't buy my shirt.
But yeah, that's the Froggy Day story, and that's just one of many dumb inside jokes that we had.
One of so many dumb inside jokes.
Oh yeah. But yeah, designing those frogs were fun, and now they're emotes, and it's great. How long do you think it took me to draw those frogs?
I have no clue.
Take a guess. Take a wild shot.
I don't want to, because I'm either gonna lowball it too low, or highball it too high.
Do it. I dare you.
In the hour.
Dude, it took me 5 minutes. I really popped off with the sketch.
See, I told you I was gonna highball it too high.
Dude, I was actually surprised on my first go around drawing that outline. Like, just the outline took 5 minutes in Inkscape, and I was like, "Wait, this slaps." And then I just adjusted it so it's a little more symmetrical, but not too symmetrical.
Yeah.
And I was like, because the Drew frog was done in like 2 minutes, and I was like, no one's gonna be able to tell super what it is because of the size you need for it to be a channel point thing.
He's also just like a little silly guy.
He's a little derpy guy. And originally, when we were talking about Froggy May merch like 2 months ago, was going to be him. And I was like, no, I'm going to redesign it, and I'm going to make it color-coded for each person on the stream.
Yeah.
And then I designed it, and I said, Froggy May to Elijah, we're going to start announcing this and pushing it in like 2 weeks. And he was like, yep, that's good. Fantastic. Yep.
Yep.
Which is what 90% of us getting stuff for the stream is.
Yeah. He just texts me. He's like, hey, does this look good? I'm like, yeah, it looks amazing.
Hey, I'm going to post this. You don't get any say. And he goes, yep, okay.
Yep, funny. I would post.
I think it's also not to be like I'm a controlling creative dick over the stream. I just think I understand your tastes and my tastes to create something that we both love, and I just give it to you as a scam buy and knowing that you're going to like it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You know what I think is good, and you know what I think is funny.
Yeah, I would. And also our humors are so similar to where it's like, if I don't think it's funny or I don't like it, I know for a fact you wouldn't like it.
Yeah, because we're just, our senses of humor are very, very similar. Our TikTok For You pages
It's the exact fucking same.
are the same thing. They are the exact same thing. It's scary. I will send him a TikTok, and like this happened like what, 2 weeks ago?
No, last week.
Not even last week. I sent him a TikTok, and not even 5 minutes earlier, he had already sent it to me.
Yeah, he didn't check to see what I had already sent him, and I go, "We really have the same." I think there is a diverging path of our TikTok FYPs, and I think that is. Yeah. And I think the divergence is I'm also on buying a first time home TikTok and buying a first time RV TikTok.
Yeah, see, I'm not on those. I'm looking at it right now. On Thursday at 8:08 a.m., you sent a D&D TikTok.
Yep.
On Thursday at 8:13 a.m., it was 5 minutes apart. I sent the exact same TikTok. 5 minutes apart.
Let's be honest. It's because we also like the same stupid things.
Yes,
We
exactly.
both love D&D. We both love Sonic the Hedgehog. We both love Nintendo. When are we doing the
Yeah.
Sonic the Hedgehog podcast? Who's to say?
Who's to say? I need to do more research if we're going to do that one.
Yeah, because you love Sonic. I have infinitely more Sonic knowledge because I grew up reading the Archie comics week by week and month by month.
Yes, I have read limited Archie comics. I have read some.
Yeah.
I have read a very limited amount of Archie. I've read no IDW, and what even is a Fleetway?
You don't need to read the Fleetways.
Yeah.
I've read the
Super Sonic is evil and not Sonic at all in Fleetway.
It's weird. Even though you might actually need to read one Fleetway comic run if they are doing Sonic 3 the way they think they're doing.
The Metal Sonic Army one.
The Metal Sonic Army, yeah. Because that's straight up the way that they do it, where it's silver. It's a bunch of Silver Sonics and one Metal Sonic. Is exactly what the post credits of Sonic 3 teased.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
Spoilers for Sonic 3, I guess.
Oh, spoilers for Sonic 3. Amy comes in and she kicks ass.
Yeah.
In the post credit scene.
Oh yeah, in the post credits. Yeah. All the fun things. All right, Elijah.
Yes.
We're an hour in, or an hour and 10 minutes in.
Yeah.
We have 20 to 50 minutes left of this podcast.
Yes.
I did pre-curate a couple of things for us to talk about that are in relation to other podcast things we have talked about on so far.
Okay.
One is about D&D.
Oh yeah.
One is about general gaming news, specifically Switch, and just general gaming economic stuff from episode 2. And one is fantasy critic related.
Okay.
Pick your poison.
Let's go with what the second one was.
Okay. So, general gaming, big announcements. First things first, if you're listening to this podcast, we are going to do our both, because this also relates to fantasy critic a little bit too. We are going to do our bi-monthly or twice a month, every 2.5 months update on our
whenever we feel like it.
Well, it's around 2 months. It's about once a quarter.
Yeah.
Fantasy critic update halfway through May. I think in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Short spoiler alert, I got screwed.
Short spoiler alert is actually, it's not going to be a spoiler alert. It's what we're talking about in the fantasy critic section. That's that small update. Not really a small update. It's a big update, but that's besides the point. But in relation to us complaining about $80 games, we got a couple of things wrong on the Switch episode.
Oh my goodness. I feel like I just blacked out for a second. Oh.
It's almost as if the stream crashed because for some reason OBS and everything wants to be problematic right now.
Who doesn't want to be problematic?
I don't know why it's being problematic, but it is. Also, when I reset OBS, it went back to 2 dads, 1 tub, and I think it might have to do something with that.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think I might have to turn off other scene collections, but that's besides the point. So we got some things wrong.
Okay, what did we get wrong?
1, not every game is going to be $80 for Switch 2.
I assumed.
The standard is still $70 moving forward.
Which is still $10 higher than the standard for Switch 1.
Yes, but also Switch 1 is technically a generation behind on that.
That is true.
However, Nintendo did announce that games are getting surge pricing depending on what games they think are going to do better. So Mario Kart 8, being the juggernaut of a seller it was on the Switch, gets an $80 price tag because they think it's going to sell better. And just getting...
Wait, Mario Kart 8 is being sold for $80?
Mario Kart World. Mario Kart World.
Okay. I was about to be like, whoa, that's a Wii U game. That's outrageous.
Yeah. So, we got that wrong.
Okay.
All of the paid upgrades are essentially making it so the game is now $70. So, if, for example, I think it's like $10 upgrades for games that are just, you're upgrading it so it runs on the Switch 2 for the most part. If it has expansion content, then it's a $20 upgrade. So Kirby and the Forgotten Land, if you have the base game, you just would pay $20 to get the Switch 2 upgrade and all the expansion content.
So essentially it's just a $20 paid DLC with enhancements.
Yes. So most Switch 1 games are getting free enhancements.
That's awesome. That is just good.
Including Scarlet and Violet.
Oh, are they gonna make those games like
Playable? Yeah, correct. And so, we will be getting a lot of those rolled out this year and the start of next year.
Okay.
However, adjacent to that, Xbox is officially raising all of their game prices to $80.
Oh, Xbox.
And they are blaming tariffs. However, if you know how games and production and marketing stuff works, that's total bullcrap.
Yeah, that's bullcrap. They're just raising it to raise it.
They're raising it to raise it, and they've had that plan for a while. And so everything is going up basically by 50% in prices.
That's
except for
insane.
games are going from 70 to 80, but like the Xbox Series X is going up to $700.
What the hell?
PlayStation has refused to raise its prices, and so I think
Common Sony W.
Even though this generation they haven't had a lot of W's outside of like console sales. Like
outside of like console sales and having games.
No, they didn't, dude. I'm going to answer this right now. I normally don't answer live chat during the podcast. We had one failure, but I fixed it.
Yeah, if you notice the stream's been going for 5 minutes, yeah, we got like a hour and 10 minutes of other stream that we've also got.
The best part is I can salvage this one. I don't know if I can salvage 2 Dads One Tub this week. We will find out tomorrow when I try editing it. So, with that being said, Microsoft has permanently raised their game prices to $80 for all of the first party stuff. And I think the reason why is they're trying to push as many people to Game Pass as they possibly can.
Yes. Best deal in gaming, not sponsored.
Love you, Panic. Can't wait for you to hear
Love
this.
You, Panic.
Can't wait for you to hear this part of the podcast. Anywho, back to not looking at chat. I think that's ridiculous. I think that's outrageous.
It is 100% outrageous. There's no reason to be raising game prices like that, and especially like the console prices.
Oh,
it's crazy.
At least Nintendo, which was saying that they were thinking about adjusting for tariffs and inflation, decided ultimately not to do that to the console itself and only accessories.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Right? Now a Pro controller is no longer $80; it's $100.
Which still hurts. It definitely hurts.
But
however, it's good that it's not the console itself.
Have you heard the people who have talked about the new Pro controller, though?
No, I have not.
There are people whose opinions in the games industry that I trust, podcast-wise or video-wise, that say that it is on par in terms of how well it feels with the Series X controller.
Really?
They upgraded their plastic, so it's a similar plastic to the Xbox plastic, and it keeps the Pro controller one shape, but adds in back pedals.
Back pedals?
Yep. Built-in back.
Does it have is it still non-analog triggers though?
I mean, yes, it's still digital triggers. However, I don't think Nintendo has any plans for haptic feedback in the triggers. However, it has the one feature that the Switch Pro controller needed that is a staple in every controller: a freaking headphone jack.
Let's go. That is huge.
That's actually huge.
That is massive.
We are celebrating as Nintendo fanboys the fact that Nintendo is finally caught up.
Yeah.
Now,
Almost. No analog triggers, but almost, but everything else.
Now we can use Nintendo Discord, and use a crappy camera to play Mario Party minigames that we'll play once and never again.
Oh, I'm not getting the Nintendo camera.
Yeah, we can just plug in any web camera. It's supposed to work.
Yeah, why would I get the Nintendo camera?
Here's why. I was talking with Gas about this and Panic about this on one of the Two Dads One Time episodes. I think it was actually the one with Unicorn.
Oh yeah,
that's the first episode. I think we figured out why they are selling a proprietary camera.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're going to do they announced the Nintendo thing where they now have themed cameras. The first themed camera is a piranha plant.
So I take back my previous statement. I will be buying the Nintendo camera. Possibly multiple times.
So you can now have a camera that looks like a piranha plant coming out of a warp pipe.
Yeah, no, I definitely need that.
Yeah. And so I guarantee we're going to get ones themed for games.
Give me the Kirby cam.
Dude, the Kirby cam's going to go hard. The Kirby cam will, in fact, sell out real quick.
Oh, 100%.
We also found out that Nintendo is continuing Amiibo through this generation.
Awesome. That is just good. That is just good news.
We missed this part because the Nintendo Switch live stream was pooping its bed.
Yes,
the first line of Nintendo Switch 2 Amiibos, Street Fighter 6.
Oh.
They're doing
Oh yeah, no, I did see that. I did see that after the fact. I just didn't say anything about it.
Yeah, it is a Street Fighter 6 stuff. So, but they are continuing Amiibo. Amiibo is an initiative they're continuing to do, which shows that Nintendo is the only Toys to Life company that has succeeded.
Yep. I mean, Skylanders succeeded for a second. It just
long-term success.
Yeah, because it's Nintendo.
And everyone loves their dumb little Nintendo figures, and it's the only way we can get figures of certain characters.
Yeah. I don't collect Amiibo. I have 3 Amiibo.
I have
4 Amiibo.
I only collect the Amiibo for characters I really love, knowing that they'll never get merch. And then knowing that my brother gets Amiibo, if there's content from an Amiibo I want, I just go to his house and I scan it.
Yeah, I have 4 Amiibo, but I only know where 3 are. I have 2 Kirbys. I have the Smash Kirby and the Kirby, and then I have Waddle Dee, and then I have Squirtle somewhere. I don't know where Squirtle is.
That's fair. So, yeah. That's our update on Switch 2 stuff and general gaming economics stuff.
General gaming?
All right. Do you want D&D stuff, or do you want Fantasy Critic?
Let's go with Fantasy Critic, because that should be pretty quick.
Never doubt me ever again. GTA 6 was delayed into 2026, baby!
I got absolutely, I don't regret picking GTA 6. Because if it would have come out this year, I probably would have won.
Yes. Well,
But it didn't come out this year, so I just lose.
You wouldn't have necessarily won. It would have been a tighter race.
It would have been way tighter. Well, with Silk Song coming out this year, and with that coming out this year, I would have had a very good chance of winning.
Well, I think I'm the only one who checks points every single day.
Yeah, I check it maybe once a week.
And then I think Josh does it once every few days. And Josh can correct me if I'm wrong, because I know he's in chat. Yeah. But leading up to the delay announcement, you and I were in a 3-point projected point total away from each other, and Josh and I were in a 1 point away projected point total.
Yeah, it was super, super close.
And that was with the plus 16 of GTA 5 or GTA 6.
Yeah. And now I don't get that.
And now I get plus 16 on my projected because I don't have a minus 16 in my projected.
Yeah.
And so now...
So you're just dominating. I get it. I get a 0.
and then I get 16 for my counter pick.
For my first pick. So I need everything else on my list to go above and beyond.
Yes.
And I need 4 new games and 1 DLC.
Yes. Well, you don't.
Absolutely.
You don't need. The only thing you have to fill out in Fantasy Critic, and you don't get penalized, is counter picks. So you need to pick 3 counter picks by the end of the year, you don't have to fill out every other slot. If you want to maximize your point totals, then you do. But like, if you look at the rest of I have Elden Ring.
Elden Ring's gonna review well no matter what.
Yeah, and we're not even talking about if the game is actually good. We're talking about what critics are gonna say, and everyone rides on FromSoftware's dick. So
yeah, you have a FromSoft game, you have a Nintendo 3D platformer, you have Mario Kart, you have a Doom game, you have a Yakuza game. Oh wait, that's already been reviewed. You have 2XKO, which we'll review super well.
I actually don't think it's gonna be in the 90s. I think it's gonna be like an 85. Because
but like for the type of game it is, it's good. That's a really good review.
Unless people in the fighting game community are going to rate it high, but we're not talking about what the fighting game community is going to rate it. We're talking about what game critics are going to review it, and game critics are notoriously bad at games. But I'm betting on the love of Arcane and League of Legends is going to push it in critics' eyes, and it's supposed to be a beginner friendly but high skill ceiling quarter sick fighter.
Yeah.
So
and and it's good that it's beginner friendly because you play fighting games.
Yes.
I play platform fighters.
Yeah.
But this is a game that both of us can play, and I could probably take like a match or 2 off of you.
Oh yeah. I feel like you and I, if fingers crossed, if we do get into the final beta.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
You and I are going to do fighting game boot camp, and I'm going to show you the ropes.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm down.
And I'll even let you use my fighting stick. So
yeah.
We will absolutely do fighting game boot camp. Absolutely, absolutely, positively, yes. But dude, Summer Games Fest is coming up, and we're doing our Fantasy Critic special in a few weeks, but we're also, that same episode, are going to do the Summer Games Fest betting prediction show.
Yeah.
I think, should I explain what the rules are going to be now? Because I'm going to have to tell you and Josh anyway what we're going to do.
Yeah, just explain what's going on now.
Okay, we're going to play a game. I've devised a game for Summer Game Fest. Summer Game Fest predictions are only, and it's a game, it's a prediction game that lasts the entire summer. The season begins and ends with Summer Games Fest and closes in August with Gamescom opening night live, which are the 2 Jeff Keighley summer game announcement things.
You know we love us some Jeff.
Yeah, we love ourselves some Mountain Dew Doritos King Jeff Keighley.
Yes.
So the season of Summer Games Fest, because that's his baby, opens and closes with that. So I'm having the shows open and close with that. So this does not have to be Summer Games Fest related or sponsored things. So like, for example, Microsoft is not a part of Summer Games Fest. However, Microsoft does show off games during Summer Game Fest, but their press conference for announcing games isn't a part of Summer Games Fest, if that makes sense.
Yeah. But it is.
Because it's the day before Summer Games Fest starts. So
yeah, so it's like, we're not a part of Summer Games Fest. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
So I'm counting that also as part of Summer Games Fest. But like,
yeah.
Nintendo also always does a June or July Direct. We're going to count that Direct as part of Summer Game Fest. Sony always does some form of showcase or state of play. We will count that as part of it. If you have a Direct and it's not a stupid marketing ploy that is just, hi, we are calling our one game a Direct, and we're going to spend 30 minutes talking about our one game, and we're
we're EA. We're going to spend 30 minutes talking about how Madden didn't change.
Well, no, because EA has a Summer Games Fest event. They are a part of, and we will count that one. I'm talking like Hello. Welcome to Super Farmers 5. Also, I think it crashed again. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Anywho, we crashed again.
Yep.
But like I caught it very early this time. If my character's mouth stops moving, we crashed.
Okay.
So if I'm looking at myself and I see myself stop moving, we've crashed.
That makes sense.
So, like Little Dumb Farming Direct 5.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I knew EA has a show. I just like making fun of them.
That's so fair. Anything that's like not like if it's like we're 20 indie studios doing our own direct, we'll watch that and we'll do predictions, right?
Which that would be really cool if that was a thing.
They do that. It's called The Mix. It's great.
I've never heard of that. I should watch it this year.
The Mix is actually done by Kind of Funny, who's like my favorite gaming news podcast people. They work. So Greg, who is the CEO of the company, his wife works for a PR firm for indie games.
Oh, yeah?
That covers a lot of different indie games. And so he basically partnered with his wife to give a bunch of different indie games their own direct. And
that's awesome.
They use Kind of Funny Studio as the place they record the direct. It's great.
That is great.
It's called The Mix. They do a couple of them a year. And then Kind of Funny will stop whatever they're doing for the regular news streams and their regular game streams. And they will just instead do indie game demos with the developers for like 3 days straight.
That's awesome. Anything that gives indie games more spotlight is amazing in my book.
Correct. I agree with that. And so The Mix is one you're going to want to look out for this summer. Or if we get a Devolver Digital Direct, which is also indie. But that's also... Yeah. Devolver is just a shit post when they do their direct. They have 2 games they actually direct, and then they do a shit post on Sony and Nintendo press conferences.
Yeah.
Which, fair enough. Yeah. The game is we each make 10 to 15 predictions about the entire summer of announcements.
Ooh.
We present that prediction to the other 2 people on the podcast. And the other 2 people must decide earnestly if it is a bland prediction, a mild prediction, or a spicy prediction.
Ooh, spicy.
If it's a bland prediction, if your prediction is correct, you get 1 point. If your prediction is mild and you get it correct, you get 3 points. If your prediction is spicy and you get it correct, it'll be 5 points.
Ooh, so the more spicy predictions you get correct, the better.
So, for example,
basically,
Madden will be shown at the next EA press conference.
That is boring.
Versus Capcom will announce Mega Man Star Force 4.
That is not going to happen.
Spicy. I know it's not going to happen, but that's an example of a spicy one.
Nintendo is going to announce a remaster of Melee without changing the fighting mechanics.
And advertise wave dashing. Spicy.
Nintendo is going to release a version of Mario 64 that has BLJs in it.
Yes, exactly. So we each come up with 10 to 15, and then, similar to Fantasy Critic, because this is based off of also, the winner of this gets to be the first draft pick of next Fantasy Critic year. You get...
So basically the winner of this gets GTA 6.
Basically, yes. We're fighting for GTA 6 next year. Similar to Fantasy Critic, you get 2 counter picks. You don't get penalized for not using them in this, but you can counter someone else and say the exact opposite is going to happen for the same level of points. So, if I say Mega Man Star Force 4 is going to get announced, and you say, nuh-uh, counter pick, if I'm wrong, you get 5 points.
Ooh.
So you get
interesting.
You get 2 of those.
So I get benefited for you making a bad prediction.
Yes, correct.
I feel like you shouldn't get 5 points for correctly counterpicking something that most likely wasn't gonna happen. I feel like it should be the points are reversed for counterpicks, where if you counterpick a like super spicy take and it ends up not happening,
I
which
like
is
that.
more likely,
I
you
like-
get like 1 point. And if you counterpick a boring take and that ends up not happening, then that's 5 points
You know what?
because that's a way less likely to happen.
You know what? I agree with that. Let's do that ruling. I agree with
Yeah.
that. I like that. So that's how we'll do it in a few weeks. That's how we'll do predictions. And so you and Josh have to come up with 10 to 15. The reason why I say 10 to 15 is we're going to do 10 on the podcast. But let's say we have the same prediction. The first person who says that prediction gets the prediction.
Okay, so I should just rapid fire all 10 of my predictions so I don't have to come up with 15.
No, because we're going to go one at a time. So
Yeah, I know.
You were last draft pick, I believe. So
I was.
So you get first prediction during this.
Okay.
And then I get last
Wait.
pick.
My prediction, GTA 6 delayed. Again.
You wouldn't be wrong, because it hasn't been delayed twice yet. So Rockstar games get delayed in twos.
Yeah.
So that would not be a bad
They
one.
also come out and then they're finished games.
They're finished games. Like
Yeah.
some of the most polished in the industry.
Yeah, where other studios EA puts out games that are never finished.
So here's the thing. EA actually hasn't had that problem outside of Madden.
And FIFA.
Well, sorry, you mean Sports FC?
Yeah. Yeah.
Outside of the okay, Cameron says Battlefront 2. I'm talking about in the last 10 years. They hadn't had that issue.
Yeah.
They released finished games. Their problem is now the way they treat their developers and how nobody is allowed to release a game that isn't a live service anymore. With the exception of Respawn making Jedi games because they'll sell insanely well.
Yeah. I feel like they could stop all the Madden criticism by just not releasing one Madden a year, instead release one every like 3 years.
Or here
and just stop numbering them and update them.
Madden and FIFA are the only two games that should be live services where you just buy a $10 battle pass that unlocks the New Year's roster. Like,
yeah,
that's it. Like, you can do so many microtransactions. You get your monetization. You get all of that, and everyone's happy. You just make it.
Ultimate Team will still exist.
Yes, it'll be fun. Okay, here's the piece of gaming news I forgot to say that pisses me off. Holy crap! EA canceled a Titanfall extraction shooter.
No.
And the gameplay loop was you had all of the movement tech from Titanfall 2 in an extraction shooter, but it's PvP extraction shooter in the sense that you are extracting not people, not money, different parts of a mech you build over the course of all of the rounds.
That is so cool.
And the only way you get your Titanfall mech is by getting enough victories per round to then do the final round where the team builds the mech and they have to kill everyone else on the other team, and the other team's win condition is destroying the mech.
That would have been so cool.
And they canceled it.
Ugh. Why?
And EA laid off people.
EA, why?
Titanfall 2 was already treated like so garbage by EA because they released Titanfall 2 and then 2 weeks later they released a Battlefield game.
Oh, really?
And Titanfall 2, like, have you ever played Titanfall 2?
No, I've never played Titanfall.
Genuinely. Titanfall 1 is fine. It's very fun, but it didn't have a story mode and a campaign, and that was like kind of the start of campaigns and shooters going away for a little bit, and now they've come back, right?
Yeah.
Titanfall 2. The reason why we have all of the different movement tech in Fortnite and like climbing and parkour or in Call of Duty now started in Titanfall, but then Titanfall was also the game that started grappling hooks.
Ooh.
So imagine all of that movement tech of like diving, sprinting, wall running, Also at the same game was introduced with a grappling hook.
That's crazy.
And like being able to see a gun from part way through the map, grappling hooking it, pulling to yourself, and then being able to immediately fire on someone.
That sounds so cool.
Imagine a shooter where your kill streak is you get a mech and that's it. But the mech is fully customizable to your character, and you get your mech when you get the kill streak.
That's awesome.
Its story mode, one of the best shooter stories ever.
Really?
It was also one of Matt Mercer's breakout roles.
Really?
Yep. Genuinely, such a good story. I think maybe not for stream. Oh, maybe we do it during the subathon. I have Titanfall 2 on my Xbox. We should just play through the story mode. It is genuinely so good.
Is it co-op?
No, but essentially imagine a boy and his dog, but the dog is a mech.
Oh, fun.
So it's you building a relationship with this mech and becoming best friends with the mech. Your mech.
Ooh. I love becoming best friends with I love becoming best friends with inanimate objects.
We know. You talk to your Funkos all the time.
Nuh-uh. Just the Scott the Woz U2s.
That's fair. Elijah.
Yeah.
We could talk about D&D news, but the only D&D news that really happened is stuff I care about.
Okay.
TLDR, the two creative directors that have been there for the last couple of editions, have now retired and left the company, but it feels like their timing of leaving the company is happening at a time where Hasbro is trying to suck the life and soul out of D&D. Elijah, things keep crashing. I don't know why OBS is being the way that it is. Everything should be fine. It's literally OBS is the only thing crashing because I have literally nothing else open on my computer. So OBS
that's crazy.
OBS is finally crapping the bed. Thanks so much to Dubby for sponsoring.
Yes, thank you, Dubby.
Use code PVEW at checkout, 10% off your order at www.w.gg. Elijah, you're gone this week again, and then you're finally back for the most part outside of the end of your internship.
Yep.
And then we start the summer of streaming.
The summer of streaming coming soon to theaters.
So we finally will finish your Nuzlocke. We'll do the Nuzlocke finale, and then we will announce what the next Pokemon project is.
I'm so excited for the next Pokemon project.
We actually have two Pokemon projects in the timeline, but only one of them is necessarily for Pokemon Day. I swear to God, if it crashed again right now, I swear to God. Oh, it's fine. You guys can't hear Elijah anymore. I'm just going to use this as the way to say thank you so much for watching. I'm done with today. Oh, God. And we'll see you all later.